Y'all are killing me. They're killing me. I just did all this stuff for nothing. For those of you watching, it's my 8th period's fault. It was such a good lesson, and they didn't tell me it wasn't recording.
You did it on purpose.
Real quickly, we were talking about the incenter formed by the angle bisectors. We said the incenter is always equal distance to the sides, and here's all the congruent stuff. Check the notes if you have questions. Okay, here we go. Everybody have this part?
Yes.
Y'all are turds, man. Oh, that's on video. Somebody's gonna get pure enjoyment out of this video. Youngblood called them all turds. Oh well.
We're human.
Huh?
I'm still awake. We're human.
We are human. I am anyway.
Look.
Am I still recording? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, just checking. I can't believe y'all knew it wasn't recording and you didn't say anything.
I was good, and then I was like, no, I don't know. I'm sorry, but I thought it was on purpose. I kind of.
Why are you laughing so hard?
Because you turned it off, and I was like, oh, okay, well, either she's getting ready, like, I don't know.
What point did you, hey, Miss Youngblood, you're talking and you're not recording? I don't know. You're
I had
killing
forgotten
me.
by then, okay? I have short-term memory.
That kind of. Oh, because you said what Leo said was this, and I was like, wait.
What
the
Leo
camera,
said?
Like he said something over there, and then you repeated that it said something.
So did I record a
computer.
big part of that?
You didn't record it, but I kind of wondered why you had said that, and it was because you wanted to make sure the people on the YouTube channel could hear it. I just kind of realized.
How about
You're so wrong. You're
How about
so...
we just get back on track?
We are on track. You just chill.
Oh man.
It's my class. I can do what I want to. Y'all are silly today.
Sorry.
You should. I cannot believe I was putting on a show today. It was a good one. That whole spiel that I talked about, the right angles and the angle side, all that wasn't on there?
I don't even know if you had started the recording when you started doing the notes.
Yeah, and then I
It's
guess
Youngblood.
you stopped it. I didn't know you stopped it.
I don't remember stopping it.
Your teaching was so good that I completely forgot that you weren't recording.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to clean it up.
That and also I'm not very good at things. Like
Hello. Hello. Hello.
From. You don't remember that?
It's off the living now.
All right, so looking at this one, let's see if I can teach real good with this one, right? Looking at this one, we've got P as the incenter. So the first thing I'm going to do is put all the markings that I know, because if it's an incenter, it bisects my angles. And it's perpendicular to the sides, and all those pieces are congruent. And then I'll go through the spill again, just in case I didn't record it. We have a right angle, an angle, and a side in common of one triangle congruent to another triangle. Therefore, my two triangles are what? Congruent. That makes these two pieces congruent by what? See if I can get you.
Angle side.
No, I said the triangles are congruent by angle, side. So how are these two pieces congruent? not about triangle congruence. Remember when we did the proofs, we said if the triangles are congruent, then they're what?
Whatever that is.
I know what you're talking about.
Look, the fact that y'all. And what does that stand for? Congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Very good.
CPTPCPCTC.
Okay.
There you go.
He said that and you just said, yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's bad. All right, so here we are. I've got all the markings that I know because P is the incenter of the triangle. So now let's start looking at NP. How do I know how long NP is?
13 times 2.
Okay, and it says it's congruent to who? NP, who is? So NP is 8. All right, what about NK?
17.
How do you know that?
Because the marking.
Because it's congruent to
KD.
KO.
Okay. Oh, that's an O.
Sorry.
KO.
I knew that.
All right, and then I have PK. How do I find PK?
The
Pythagorean theorem. So I've got this triangle here. Let's see if I can sketch it. And I just determined that this side was 8 and this side was 17, but I don't know this piece. What piece is that?
That's C.
The hypotenuse, the C. So I am looking for the C in A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So I have 8 squared plus 17 squared equal to C squared. So that's 64 and 289 equal to C squared. And 289 and 64 make 353. And so I need to do what? Square root. Does it simplify? Nope, it doesn't. So it is just the square root of 353. Do I need that square root sign?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It would be wrong. Okay. All right. Then we have LO. This side over here. How am I going to find LO? Pythagorean theorem again. So I have D, and I've got a triangle that looks like this, and I know that this one's 8 because of the markings, and I know that this one's 13 because it's labeled, and I don't know this one. So which one am I missing this time? One of the legs. So does it matter if it's A or B?
No.
Nope. Your mom is not listening to my geometry video one day and hear you not say ma'am. That's funny. As long as it's a respectful no, like a, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't care if there's a ma'am attached as long as it's not a rude no. Just me. All right, so I'm solving for B squared. But I know some people that you better say no ma'am, yes ma'am, no sir, yes sir. That's very offensive to them if you don't. Square root of, I've got B squared equals 105, so I'm going to take the square root. And does it simplify? No. So B is?
Square
root of 105.
That would be wrong. You just got one wrong one.
All right. Questions?
No, ma'am.
I wrote the right answer. I just
All right. So I want you to try the next one. All right. I'm moving it up. To a deluxe apartment.
Oh, you heard me?
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
finishing
we
what
can.
you were saying.
She can hear, can you?
Some days I can't, but most days I do. Have you heard anybody say anything about the Christmas shirts?
No, ma'am.
You showed us yesterday.
I know, I was just wondering. I just put it out on social media. So.
Wait, we get to buy them?
Yes. Alyssa,
Why
you're
didn't they
cute.
for teachers?
No, they're for everybody.
I might get
Where are
one.
the forms at?
She'll probably.
There's some outside my door.
Oh, really? I didn't remember.
All right, you're trying to find those 4 segments. Freeze it, and I'm gonna. All right, so here we go. Let's look at the pieces. Obviously, making sure we wrote down the BG for B and not BC. That changes things a little bit. The first one, asking for the GD, actually was fairly simple and came out to a perfect square. So taking the square root of it should have given you 12, right? Okay. The second one, however, looking for BG, this one here, we had to use Pythagorean theorem again, using that 12 we just found, and the 6 squared gave us 6 square roots of 5. It gave us a square root of 180, which would simplify to...
No, wait. No, never mind, sorry.
Okay. And then FC was the same as DC, 35, and BF was the same as BE, 6. Right? Questions? Go ahead.
I don't want to sound dull on the internet. I'll actually.
Well, at this point, we all do today because we had a complete discussion of... Come on, tell me what you got.
I don't know how to label it good.
What do you mean?
Like, I know how to label the sides, but I get confused when I label it.
So here's what I will tell you. You need to go home and draw you some triangles and say, okay, if the middle is the incenter, mark everything you know. And do that several times. You'll be able to do it on your homework also. Mark everything you know. Go back to that original picture. Go back to this picture and mark all these things that you know if it says it's an incenter. Okay? And take it one by one. Go with this piece. Okay, I know that these and this and this, this and this, this and this, right? And then block it off and go to this piece. So I have all those markings, right? And just take it piece by piece. You don't have to do it all at one time. Okay? Other questions? No? All right, let's look at the last example then.
Sample or practice?
Example. All right, so we've got our triangle here with an S is the incenter. Of triangle PQR. And the measure of angle PRQ is equal to 8x minus 10. The measure of angle RPQ is equal to 4x minus 14. And the measure of angle PQR is equal to 7x minus 5. And they want us to find the following. They want me to find the measure of angle PRQ, RPQ, PQR, RPS, PQS, PRS, and PSR. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is mark what I know is congruent based off the information I've been given. So it said S is the incenter of the big triangle PQR. So what does that tell me about each of my angles? What does that tell me about the angles at P, the angles at Q, and the angles at R? They're all congruent. They split into two congruent angles, right? Okay, so that's the information they gave me. So now I want to label the things they gave me in the words. They said the measure of angle PRQ. PRQ is this angle over here, this whole big angle. They told me that whole big angle is 8x minus 10. You with me so far? Then they told me that RPQ, so if I go RPQ, this whole big angle over here is 4x minus 14. And the last thing they told me was that PQR, this angle over here, the whole big one, is 7x minus 5. So they said of my big triangle, these are all your angle measures. So given that, how might I be able to find x? I got to add them all up and equal them to 180. Very good. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to scroll it down for just a minute. I've got 8x minus 10 plus 4x minus 14 plus 7x minus 5 all equal to 180. I'm going to combine like terms. So 8x, 4x, and 7x make 19x, and negative 10, negative 14, and negative 5 make negative 29, 29, right? All right, so now I have a two-step equation. I'm going to add 29 to both sides. I get 19x equal to 209. I divide by 19, and x equals 11. Okay, so I have my x value. And now I'm going to find all these little values for these angles that they asked me about, right? So I know the x is 11. Everybody agree? Okay, so let's scroll back up here and start looking at our angles. The first one they asked me for is PRQ. PRQ is this one right here. Nope, this one right here, PRQ. So 8 times 11 minus 10 gives me what? 78.
Bus 46 students, you will be held until 39 returns.
Then I have
If you ride bus 45,
RPQ, so 4 times 11 minus 14.
On the first go.
That one's 30.
All of 45 will get on with bus 37
And then the last one,
students, and that bus
7
will take you home.
times
You will
11
not have to wait.
minus 5
Thank you.
gives me 72.
With the degree sign.
You can put the degree signs, yes. These are degree signs. Okay. Then I have RPS. RPS, this angle right here. How might I find that little angle right there?
Divide it into 2.
Divide who into 2?
30.
The 30. 30 divided by 2 is 15 degrees. Then I have PQS, this angle over here. How can I find it? Divide who? 72 by 2. And what is that? 36. Then I have PRS, this angle over here. How might I find it? 78 by 2, which is 39. Now I have this last one. They want PSR, this angle right here. How might I find that angle?
By adding
15 and 39?
Yeah.
And subtracting it from who?
180.
180. And what would we get? 126 degrees. That's it. So your homework is due
Tomorrow.